Welcome, everyone, to the Week 11 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you had not had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. Thursday night football kicks off with a great one. We have a three-way tie in the NFC West. The Cardinals are taking on the Seahawks in Seattle. Winner of this game is going to be the clear-cut number one in the West. Jack, what you got for us?
We got two top three offenses in terms of yardage coming into this game, and as you mentioned, a three-way tie for this division that at the beginning of the season we said was going to be the most competitive. It was going to be the one with this new playoff format where we could see all four of these teams in the playoffs. The thing I'm really looking for here is obviously this quarterback battle. Russell Wilson taking on Kyler Murray. These guys faced off in an overtime battle a couple of weeks ago, and this is going to be huge. We got a lot of big storylines in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at what the Cardinals did in Week 7 against them, and then you're looking at what the Cardinals just did in Week 10 with the walk-off win to the Hail Mary to Nuke, and then now we're talking about two MVP candidates at quarterbacks getting a face-off against one another. This is a really exciting matchup. I think this is going to be a really, really fun one. I'm looking towards both quarterbacks, obviously, to have big games. Last time we saw them, they both had huge games. They're having a great season right now. Both in total touchdowns are hovering around 27 for Murray and 29 for Russell Wilson. These guys score a lot. These offenses are high-powered. It's going to be up to the defense to stop them. And I'm looking at the Seahawks. They're last in passing defense, giving up 353 over the air. They're last in total yards, giving up 448. I don't know if the Seahawks can stop DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if the Seahawks can stop Christian Kirk. I don't know if the Seahawks can stop Kyler Murray right now. This defense is not giving me enough confidence. Russell Wilson didn't have a touchdown last week, and we saw what happens when Russell Wilson cannot score. This team cannot win.
Yeah, three turnovers for Russell Wilson will not get it done by any means. And this is a guy that with this passing defense in Seattle, giving everybody opportunities to score, where he's really had to pick it up. Kyler, on the other hand, has just been engaged in this offense. You know, right now they're sitting at one of these situations where they have a really young core and they're developing on all sides of the ball. But like you mentioned, this is going to be really tough to stop Hopkins, Kirk, the way these guys have been playing the last couple of weeks. Even when Hopkins has a slightly worse game than you expect, Kirk goes off. And these teams are going to find ways to win. One big matchup here, like we talked about last week, Jalen Ramsey shutting down DK Metcalf. You know, it's going to be like that this week too. Patrick Peterson gave him a really, really rough time last time that they played. It's going to be really tough. In Week 7, you know, he only had 2 catches for 23 yards. It's going to be a big matchup to watch.
Absolutely. And, you know, we saw that last game. It was the Tyler Lockett show, 3 touchdowns, an amazing grab in the back of the end zone at one point. I think if you're the Seahawks right now, you're probably getting a little bit excited. Chris Carson looks like he's going to play for Thursday night. First time they're going to have him back in a couple of weeks. It's really good. And on the flip, though, the Cardinals – Kenyon Drake seemed to finally have some resemblance to what we saw last year. 16 carries, 100 yards. You know, that's hovering at right around 6.2 yards a carry. That's what you want to see from these teams. How big is this running game going to be for both these teams?
Both these teams have to be able to manage the time. We talk about it all the time. Teams that can run the ball really well, teams that are going up against tough defenses, we talk about how they need to manage the clock. When both of these teams are top 3 in offensive yards, you're going to have to find a way to shut these quarterbacks down. But the running game, it all runs through that. You know, like you said, Carson back this week is huge. You know, they've had DJ Dallas and Carlos Hyde back there. And, you know, people have been getting injured week by week. Carson is a solid guy. He can get 20 rushes a game when he's in there. With Arizona, it's about Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake. You know, Chase Edmonds is a run and receiving threat. Kyler is a crazy passing threat, but as long as 10 rushing touchdowns this year, Seattle's going to have to be able to contain that run and try to really make everybody on the Arizona offense somewhat discomforted. But it's going to be really tough for them to get going for Seattle with the way that the Arizona run game has been playing.
Yeah, I think if this Arizona run game continues to operate the way that it did last week, and they're able to get Kenyon Drake around 20 carries, and he's able to just produce and pick up big chunk yards here and there, similar to what we saw Dalvin Cook do against the Bears towards the end of the game, just picking up these chunk yards, allowing the pass game to flow well, this team becomes that much more dangerous. And especially against the Seahawks team, if they're able to run the play action with Kyler's ability to throw the deep ball, with his ability to escape defenders, with their ability to find wide receivers open, it's going to be a really, really long game for the Seahawks. And personally, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think that we're going to see a huge upset going on in Seattle. I think that the Cardinals offense is playing much better right now than the Seahawks. I have a little bit more faith right now in Kyler Murray to get the job done, as we saw last week against a really good Bills team that was a playoff team last year. We saw they could definitely win the big games when it matters most, even when it's down to the last couple seconds.
Yeah.
So I have to go Cardinals. I don't think that the Seahawks can stop this passing attack. They haven't shown us enough. And again, there's no Shaquem Griffin for this game. There's no Quentin Dunbar. The secondary is taking hits. We do expect Jamal Adams to play, though he got a little bit banged up with the shoulder injury over the weekend, but he still may not be 100%. And all this really factors into the Cardinals and DeAndre Hopkins just taking advantage of the Seahawks.
Yeah, and I just want to point out right there, a guy you mentioned, Jamal Adams, who's been back. They spent 2 first-rounders on him to get him from the Jets, and he has had injuries this season, but not to discredit the fact that he is one of the more productive safeties in the NFL any given game. I do believe the Seahawks win this just because last time Russell Wilson, it came down to him making a mistake in the end where he got picked off by Isaiah Simmons. This game, they have film on the Cardinals. They're able to look at what they did wrong last week, and when Russell Wilson has to improve on a mistake-ridden game just like this one, I believe in him, and I saw what Tyler Lockett was able to do when DK is covered by Patrick Peterson. Like you mentioned, I'm horrified for this Seattle defensive, pass defensive unit. It's going to be very tough. But I do believe in Russell Wilson. I do believe in him bouncing back, understanding the situation in a primetime game. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson on this one.
I like that. But, Russell Wilson, last time I played the Cardinals, 3 interceptions against them.
It's true.
I like it. I love Russell Wilson. I think he's great. But what we saw last week against the Rams, that throw across the body in the end zone for the interception, those mistakes can't happen. And this is a defense and an offense that will make you pay if you give them the ball. I got one question for you. Who's going to get more yards this game? Tyler Lockett or DeAndre Hopkins? Because we're assuming that DK Metcalf is most likely going to get shut down again. So we'll go Tyler Lockett, who had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns last time they played, or DeAndre Hopkins.
He actually, we talked about this, I feel like since he had this game, it's been like incredible. Tyler Lockett, every week he's been a threat. What I think that it's DeAndre Hopkins, though, as you mentioned, with Griffin out, that's their top corner on an already terrible pass defense. Hopkins is going to have a big game. We saw him make the play that we expect him to make, that Hail Mary in the end zone. But remember, Russell Wilson does make those plays very often as well. Last time he made a mistake when he had the ball last. I believe if he has the ball last this time, he's going to win the game. But Hopkins, I'm expecting big things from him again this week.
It's a bold statement coming from a team that just got a walk-off win. All right, that is all the time that we have. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you enjoy a great showdown about to happen on Thursday night.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this interdivisional matchup and our Just Saying Football episode. Remember to check us out, Just Saying Football on YouTube, justsayingfootball.com, Just Saying No G WJS on Instagram for all your updates on the videos and articles. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the game.
Thank you. Enjoy.